Oh,
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Whoops.
The end. We're done.
That's our show. Thanks for coming. All right. What is going on? The horror movie Avengers are back. Oh, look at the badass up at the top right there. That's right, from the Crow Night Watch. Woo-hoo! That's right. Kyle Wong has returned. Back.
What's up, everybody?
Stronger, faster than ever. That's right. He's back. He's back to kick ass, take names. He's on fire. That's right. Welcome back, man.
Thank you for having me back, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got Derek, Flick Snacks, and Nick Nax up in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me again.
All right. That's right. Always. And Joel Valley from Media Glitch. Joel.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm like in the middle. I'm like the head Brady in this.
Everyone start singing now.
That's right.
Hollywood Squares X.
Eric 331 E-Rock is back.
Eric.
Welcome back, my friend. Loving the headphones.
Well, the DJs know that I'm a bunny guy, so I decided to represent today.
That's right.
Nice.
And the Asian movie enthusiast Eric in the house. Oh yeah, that's right. And the tag team champions from the Metal Tavern podcast, from horror, representing horror and metal, which is what we love here on the channel as well. DJ Neko and Anubis.
See, I got my new shirt.
Oh shit! Oh, hold on, we gonna blow it up. That's right.
Blow it up.
Blow it up. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a little see-through, and the one that I had before was a V-neck, but this is more like a flash. This is more like a Flashdance T-shirt.
Love it though. Thank you so much. Represent Dojo.
Mine's see-through too.
So is mine.
Yes.
So Army is
now it's a
growing, looking badass. That's right. And Tony of the Dead, Mr. Tony. Welcome back, my friend. That's right. The horror movie Avengers are here, but who else is here watching? Is the Movie Dojo Army here? Yes, they are. Let's see who's watching here. Jake Hall in the house. Omniblast, Severio, Millennial Yoda, Jad in the house. That's right. Oh, live from VA 202. Sure. All right. In the house. Who else we got here? Lee's in the house. What's going on? RNK, Movie Marcus, Patty in the house, Evelina, John Martinez. Oh, shit. They're trickling in. We got Goji in the house. And
wow.
And the Shogun. That's right. Woo. Can't wait to get into this a little bit.
Group.
That's right. We are today talking about two of the greatest horror classics, horror remake classics of all time. And as much as we love the horror genre, let's be honest, it's the horror remakes. They're more miss than hit. I mean, let's be honest. But when they get it right, and when it's awesome, we got to celebrate it. That's right. And I should have put the Blob on here. I just not thought about it. That would have been awesome from the 80s. That would have been awesome too. But we'll save the Blob for a future versus, definitely.
You need to.
Before we get into it here, let's kick it off here. We, both of these movies feature some of the greatest creature effects and practical effects, that still hold up today. They still look great. So let's kick it off a little bit from the FX maestro himself and his thoughts on the movies, Joe Castro.
Hey everyone, Joe Castro here, and I've been asked to give my 2 cents about John Carpenter's remake of The Thing versus David Cronenberg's remake of The Fly. And, you know, I'm not going to be able to pick between one or the other because both of them were major influences in my career and in my life. John Carpenter's remake of The Thing I saw in 1982 on VHS, and that is the film that I bonded with my father over, and I was 12 years old, and we rented it from the video store. This is when VHS was first available on the retail market, the video players, and we watched John Carpenter's remake of The Thing 3 times in a row in one day when we rented it. We loved it so much. And the first time, me and my father watched it, and we loved it. And then my father invited all of his brothers over to watch it with us the second time. And then the rest of the family on both my mother and father's side came over and watched it the third time that night. We must have had like at least 25, 30 people in our living room watching it the third time. It was great. And then, you know, I saw David Cronenberg's remake of The Thing in the movie theater when it was released, and that movie was a big, huge influence in my career. The special effects were amazing and over the top. And in fact, Chris Wallace, the man that was responsible for those special effects, is one of my friends here on Facebook, and he still does amazing things today and influences so many people all over the world with his art. So I can't pick between the two. They're both amazing, and I'm so happy that people are still talking about them today and enjoying them.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Joe Castro. I know he didn't want to vote, but it was cool that he showed up anyway.
Kind of sounded like he did vote, though.
I thought, yeah.
He pulled a Necco.
But yeah, shout out to Joe for sending the video to the channel. That guy's awesome and very talented. So shout out to Mr. Castro. All right, I'm going to kick it off here. We got a huge panel. Shout out to Louis Lecca from Nerd Report. He couldn't make it. It's all good, brother. We'll get you on the flip side. We'll get you on the next one. But yeah, I'm going to try to make it short and sweet to get everybody a chance to talk. All right, here we go. Let's set the scene. Let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. All right. I got a lot of stuff in here. I got to scroll all the way up. All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. All right, here we go. The Thing, 1982, directed by the legend himself, John Carpenter. Plot synopsis: a research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. Also starring Kurt Russell, Keith David, Wilford Brimley, that's right, and many others. Very talented cast. And man, I will never forget the first time I saw The Thing. I was completely blown away by it. And it just blew my mind when I found out later. I did some research on it, and I found out later. I was like, this movie bombed? Like, what? Really?
Badly.
And it's just funny how movies find their audience now. And now it's heralded as one of the greatest horror flicks of all time. And I'm so happy that now it gets the respect it's deserved. You know, it deserves. But what I love about this movie is very atmospheric, man. There's something about the cold. I don't know what it is. That whole setting just amplifies the terror, you know. And I love the whole suspense building. That's right. Oh, Tony's sporting a hat there. Yeah, there you go. You got another Kurt Russell up in here. That's what I'm talking about. I just really love the suspense building. I love the who do you trust? Who can you trust? You know, I love that about the film. And effects are phenomenal. They still hold up today. And I'm stunned that this was actually considered a low budget movie. When I found that out, I was like, what? Because the effects were so good for their time. But great effects, great performances. Just overall a phenomenal movie. And enough of my yakking. Let's go ahead and pass it over to Derek. Hold on one second, Derek. One more thing. Really quick, I absolutely love the ambiguous ending. And it's
Great
still
ending.
debated till this day. Since 1982, people are still talking about and debating which one of them, if they're, you know, the alien or not, is inside them. which one is it? And they're still debating of this day. They're still like, well, if you look at Kurt Russell's eye there, it kind of shines for a second. I mean, he's got to be the alien, you know? Or they're both fine. Either way, they're fucked. But I love how people are still talking about it. I love how people are still talking about it to this day. And this was not written in the script. This was a Kurt Russell. Come on, this is a badass Kurt Russell line. Nobody wrote this for him to say. That's just Kurt Russell being a badass.
I feel like that's the shot that almost hurt him.
Oh wow!
Too, he almost got hurt during that shot.
Oh shit! Oh wow! Yeah, I love this movie. It's 5 stars. Now, Derek, The Thing.
All right, man. Well, I could mirror a lot of the things that you said because some of the top things on my notes are how atmospheric it is and how much I love the mystery of it. I mean, that's literally the first 2 things I have. It's, I think, what brings a lot of charm to this movie and maybe what turned a lot of people off in that time, the mixture of the practical effects and the gore, along with a complex story. That's a kind of ahead of its time. You either did one or the other, you know, up until John Carpenter, pretty much, or, you know, David Cronenberg, both of these guys. You know, I think that there's really good acting from Kurt Russell and Keith David, but a lot of the supporting cast was pretty weak to me. Only taking away from scenes every now and then, though, where it seems like they almost forgot their line for a second and then they say it. And they kind of just kept it in there. You know, there was like, I don't know, just some weird spacing and things like that. But in my opinion,
Windows,
this is
though.
No, yeah, yeah, exactly. The windows. In my opinion, this is still one of the scariest movies ever made, though. Especially if you watch it in a dark room or even add to that during the winter or, you know, anything like that. If you add to the atmosphere of this already atmospheric movie, it becomes terrifying, even, you know, just watching it by yourself today. The dog ball and the head on the noodle, forever ingrained into my head. Just great practical effects that are, I don't know how they hold up so good, but it seems like that's kind of a theme in cinema where a lot of times the lower budget movies are producing the more realistic and better practical effects in the movies, you know, despite the CGI and the progression of that. They're always trying to do something, you know, bigger and better with that when sometimes it's just better to stay simple, you know, keep it practical, you know, at least most of the time. This was a great soundtrack, but it was actually nominated for a Razzie.
Soundtrack?
The soundtrack to The Thing was nominated for a Razzie the year it came out.
Hilarious.
That's how big of a bomb this movie was.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah.
The Italian
Yes.
John Williams got a
Just
Razzie.
a fantastic.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't think he won it, you know, thankfully, but he was definitely nominated.
I
think
think there were Razzies back then.
Yeah, I don't know when they started, but I was reading that yesterday. I was like, I cannot believe that. You know, I was looking up the soundtrack for that, and that was one of the first articles that popped up was how it was nominated for a Razzie. I was like, you're kidding me. And the only other problem I would say that I had with it was that even though it's a stressful situation, a lot of the decisions made bother me. And the more I watch it, the more kind of frustrated I get with some of that. But it's like you said, a 5 out of 5 movie. One of the most rewatchable movies of all time because of the mystery of it and being able to catch things that they intentionally throw in there throughout the movie to hint at different things or throw you off. And they do a really great job of it. And when you break this movie down, it's even better. But yeah, 5 out of 5 movie. Very few things that I don't like about it. It's great. One of the scariest and best horror movies of all time.
All right, copy that. It's funny you brought up the score getting a Razzie. That's really hilarious. But another thing I forgot to mention was the score because it's funny because you have the Italian John Williams, Ennio doing a really atmospheric, low key score. It was a really great score that fit the movie and the setting, but it sounds like a John Carpenter score.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's so bizarre to me. It's so weird.
I literally thought it was John Carpenter. I really did.
See
that high pitched shrieking of like that keyboard sound. That
But yeah, great score. All right, Kyle.
I definitely remember watching this film on TV on TBS channel when I was in middle school, and I was staying up, and I just had to watch the rest of it because of like they're chasing this dog, and I'm wondering, okay, what's going on here? And then when the dog started splitting apart, that's when I was like, that poor dog. But at the same time, oh shit. And then the first thing they say to Keith David is, Mac wants a flamethrower. Mac wants a what? Mac wants a flamethrower. Get it right now. I'm just like, okay, shit's getting serious. So they're getting the flamethrower. And from then on, you don't know who is actually like infected or anything else. Even when they have that one moment of the blood test, you're sitting there wondering if Kurt Russell is wrong until Palmer's blood just screeches out and exactly that part. You're like, oh god. And then Palmer just breaks out and then even kills Knowles like with his Venus flytrap head, and then even Norris, like the chest opening up from the defibrillator scene. That's always going to be ingrained in my mind from watching this film, and just how the practical effects in this whole film, no matter how many remasters or anything else, the perfect lighting of everything hides the fact compared to the shitty prequel. God damn it. Just how like this film was really well put together. And on top of that, like the ambiguous ending between Keith David and Kurt Russell that you don't know who's either, even though this kind of answered it. This video game right here kind of answered it, but
that was a great game, actually.
It was a great game, and I will say, like, I'll never play it again because it captures the film itself too.
I forgot I got it too, right here.
Yeah,
I think I have it in the other room.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh man, I need to buy that. And I was like,
yeah.
I don't still have mine. I wish I did.
All I can say is this film still is like, it holds up, and it sucks that everyone went and saw E.T. and then this. But granted, I was
the other alien movie.
Yeah, but I would say the only negative side is mostly from my end was the fact that the dog ended up being like just an imposter, just opening up and then infecting everyone. And no, other than that, like everyone had just were the paranoia between every character and just not knowing until it happens. And especially like how we're all talking about the score now, since I rewatched it again just to be ready, and I just saw music by Ennio Morricone, and I was like, fuck, was I wrong the whole time? Blows my mind. But yeah, if I had to talk about a horror film that's one of my favorites, it's always going to be The Thing.
Nice. Copy that. All right. E-Rock.
Well, if John Carpenter decided to start a cult, I probably would join. So, one thing I always found badass about this movie, and I didn't know for the longest time, was it's part of a trilogy. It's part of, like, I think he called it like the Apocalyptic something trilogy.
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm a big trilogy person, so that was, connecting the movies is pretty cool. My brother's named after Kurt Russell, so this was a huge movie in our house.
Oh, wow.
It actually has I think the debate between myself with both of these movies is the creative part of, like, just both directors and cinematographers, just everything about, like, The Thing has one of my most favorite scenes in it, which is the frozen suicide. Like, that's like where, like, the blood is frozen and it's just the man's frozen, but you could tell, like, it was self-inflicted. A little dark, but I know. Kind of like what everyone's been saying, I really dig the Agatha Christie vibe of it, like the, what's going on, and piece together as it goes along. But then it's like, okay, well, now we got the answer to this, but this is coming next, and we don't know what's going on. and I'm a big fan of the coloring and the style, like the blue and the red together in the the flares in the winter. I mean, it's one of the
that
best.
looks fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. By far, like if not just horror movies, I think it's one of my favorite movies. Period. Very difficult for me. So fuck you.
And Steve. Love it. That was great.
And you're done.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna vote right now. Let's get to it. No, hold on, we got a quick super chat before we go to Joel here from Bo. Thanks again, Bo, for the super chat. He goes, "Where on the panel will we rate this movie on Kurt Russell favorite movie list?" I think for everyone here, I think it would be on top 10 for Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Movies. Top 10, top 5.
Top 2.
It's number
top 2.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely top 2.
I'd say
Snake-
top 5. Top 5.
Snake Plissken and this probably for me.
Yeah, I like Escape from New York.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's Big Trouble. Big Trouble.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in China.
I'm a huge fan of Soldier. I love Soldier.
Soldier's great.
Soldier's good.
That's up there.
Yeah.
That might be like number 2.
Oh, that's it. Kurt Russell panel.
Santa
Next
Claus.
Kurt versus
Next
Kurt.
week on Versus Russell, Kurt Russell versus Kurt Russell.
I think after what E-Rock said, I think we're already in the John Carpenter cult. I think we've secretly joined. All right, Joel, go for it. My friend.
Overboard.
Kurt Russell, there you go. Yeah.
Where's Santa Claus, man? Come on. Okay.
I love that.
Those are pretty good.
I love it.
The first one's good, at least. The first.
So The Thing. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Like, it's amazing to me. It's 5-star movie. It's creepy atmosphere. This part where he lets out, like when you've seen that the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, what are we getting into? You know. And you know, I actually like the 2-note score that goes throughout the movie. I really like it. I think it's interesting because Kurt Russell in the first part of the movie isn't a Kurt Russell movie. It's, you know, there's all kinds of people, and then later it becomes like a Kurt Russell movie, you know. You know, he's awesome. I don't know, it probably wouldn't get made today, I don't think. One, because there's not one female in this cast. So that's one thing that I find interesting still to this day. I love the practical effects. Just top of the line. We got versus 2 movies that are, in my mind, the best in practical effects. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I mean, I even think, like, I love American Werewolf in London, but there's just that one scene, right? Like, where these 2 movies are, the whole movie is amazing practical effects. So I can't, like, American Werewolf in London doesn't even fall in the same category. It's so hard, you know. I think actually like the cinematography, I like better than The Fly. Like this is better than The Fly. I think, like, the colors, the tone, it just, man, oh my gosh, like, it's you know, it's got that claustrophobic feel, because I love that there's a storm coming, it's cold, it's, you know, you're trapped in there with them, and they did such a good job making you feel that way. And then, you know, right away breaking, there's kind of like 2 no-nos you don't do in cinema. One is kill a dog or kill a baby, and they do the first one right away, and they do it well. They do it so well, and then they're killing all the dogs, and it's like they're squirting stuff all over the place, and it's just so, like, you're either gonna, you know, right then and there what kind of a movie you're gonna get into, and they set the tone right away, and it delivers all throughout. The mystery, the blood scene is very well done. It's so well done to where you're like, oh my gosh, all right, here we go, the next guy testing it, you know. Oh yeah, and then
great shot.
And then not only is it like you're all stressed out at that scene already, now you're tied to the monster. So they up the ante, they keep upping the ante, and that's what I love about this movie. It's just so well done, you know. That's where Windows gets it, but like, oh man, so it's like the effects, everything, well done. I don't know what else I can say, because I don't want to, talk too much. It's
All
great.
right.
It's awesome.
You hate it.
But there was an alternate ending shot.
I'll write that one down.
believe.
The Fly one.
What's that?
No.
He's teasing you.
No.
Well said, Joel. Well said. All right, Eric.
I'd like to start with a quote from a critic. John Carpenter was never meant to direct science fiction horror movies. He's better suited to direct traffic accidents, train wrecks, and public floggings.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What's the name on that? Do
Ebert?
you have the name from that?
Mr. Alan
Yeah.
Spencer.
We'll find him.
And,
Well,
and
he
then you
feels like an
mentioned,
ass.
you mentioned the Morricone score, right? So obviously nominated for a Razzie. And I read that he had unused music that was composed for the thing, incorporated it into his score for The Hateful Eight, and won an Oscar for it.
Wow.
How about that for irony? Yeah. And then a few other facts, of course. We can't forget that this opened the same day as Blade Runner in 1982. And then Nick Nolte turned down the lead role of the film, which may have been to our benefit. I don't know. And some of the creature work I've read. Yeah, could you imagine Nick Nolte doing that one?
Yeah, fuck you too.
Who
And
did
I
that?
also-
Who did
I
that? That
also
was
read
awesome.
that some of the
was me.
creature work was actually done by Stan Winston. Because
Mm.
Rob Bottin was so overwhelmed that he had Stan do some of the work in the dog cage. Some of the dog
nice.
cage effects.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was kind of surprised when I read that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, this is I think, if I were even to make a top 10 just favorite actors, I think Kurt Russell would make my list.
Yeah.
It seems like every time I see this guy, I just really like him. He always elevates the film and makes it better. I'm a big fan of films set during snowy winter months and snowy locations. I don't know, maybe because they're less common than other weather events, but it just gives you that icy feel. You're like isolated out in the middle of nowhere, and I like the feel of this type of a film set in the snow. And then obviously everybody complains about that scene early on with Kurt Russell short circuiting the computer because he's pissed off.
With his
I just
whiskey.
find it as some nice little bits of black humor in there. It doesn't really make much sense because they probably could have used the computer at some point. It was a chess computer, but I'm sure they could have used it for other things, right?
Mm.
But and also, I'm a fan of giallo films, and J&B Scotch is highly showcased in this film, which I got a kick out of. And when we talk about this is part of like an apocalypse trilogy, I almost kind of lose sight of that when I'm watching the film because I'm so in the moment with these characters. But they say at one point like the entire world population would be assimilated within like 27,000 hours, which would be like 3 years' time. So really, it is kind of like they're fighting for like this cataclysmic, event that could transpire if they fail to kill this thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. Special effects, obviously phenomenal. This is probably my favorite showcasing of special effects ever. And the paranoia is definitely very high in this. So it kind of has like that violent horror type stuff, and it has the classical suspense stuff together, which really kind of makes it special. So yeah, I love this flick.
Nice.
It's like you said when they didn't want it to get out. He at the end they're sitting there and he's like, "What are we gonna do now?" And how are we gonna get out of this? And he's like, "I don't know if we should."
Mm-hmm.
It's like let's just both die here.
Yep. And this is also for that critic earlier.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, I heard like Ebert hated the movie and trashed it as well.
Not
And,
surprised.
It's funny because I remember watching. I always thought chess people were really, really smart. And I remember when I watched the opening scene, and I thought, oh, he's gonna outsmart, the monster. That's why they're showing him playing chess, and then he loses and he just dumps it. I was like, okay, forget it. I guess that's
You cheating bitch.
Showing you
some
that's how
reason-
you're not gonna win.
For some reason, that scene really bothers people. Like, I don't know why. I just laughed at it the first
The
time I
chess
saw it.
scene,
I was
yeah.
like, this guy's crazy. And he just said, fuck this. I'm out,
That's so
they're
weird.
out there. Who knows how long they've been out there? They're a little fucking wired. You know,
I
it was
can
just like-
totally relate to it though, being a sailor, because there have been times where they're like, you're only going to be gone 45 days and you're gone 4 months. And you're like, I want to die on this ship. I'm going to jump off of the ship right now. I was supposed to be home October 15th. It's December the 12th.
Yeah,
It gets insane out there. So I can get the isolation like big time.
I bet you can.
I mean, you know, I get it if it kind of bugs some people because I'm gonna use the computer, but to have that ruin the movie for you,
I think they're,
I don't know
they're
about
thinking about a
that.
computer today. We're talking
Yeah.
about a computer in the 80s.
It's a Commodore
all you
54.
could do was play chat. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like, if people complain about this is the first I'm hearing that people complain about it.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I didn't know
like
that.
this is like this ruined the film. I'm like, oh my god.
It took 2 hours to get that 1 pixel of a woman for them.
Exactly.
It took 2 hours. That is why everyone's so pissed off.
Oh my God.
All right, Tony.
Well, The Thing. Yeah, it's a really good movie. We've all been saying. Great effects. And now, technically, could we count the chess machine? Can we count that as a woman? In the
Yeah,
movie?
she was speaking in like a female voice. So
Yeah. He's a cheating bitch.
Yeah.
So Kurt Russell killed the only woman on board.
Damn.
Right? Which I do find that part funny too, but like I also think to myself, like back then, like that's got to be expensive. It's their entertainment. No wonder they go stir crazy. But whatever.
No, it ruined the
Kurt
movie.
Russell, I don't understand his hat in the movie. Like if you're the, in like one of the coldest climates, wouldn't you pick something different? You know, the dog. Thankfully, nobody can shoot anybody in this. It must be the same people that hired to shoot Michael Myers in Halloween Kills.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, which I just finally saw last night, by the way, and well, there's that. And yeah, I always really like the effects. I think that even though, like, I love practical effects, and you can see that it's fake. What does it for me is the sound of the hissingness of like where the dog splits. It's like freaky. It's like holy shit,
Yeah.
and the dogs are all freaking out. They're getting shit splurted at them and everything, and like it's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? It's like, are these dogs okay? It's like, no, they're not okay.
No.
And the one trick that I always forget who's who. Sometimes in this, some of them are obvious, but the guy that took care of the dogs, how he wasn't one of them.
Clark.
Yeah, blew my mind. I was like, oh shit, that's right. He's not. He was like the fucking weirdest one. But I think if this were to really happen, I would be the Bromley guy. I would be. What's his first name?
Wilford Brimley?
Yeah, well, Brimley, not Bromley.
Quaker Oats guy.
I would be him. Like,
inside.
I'm okay now. I want to come back inside. You understand? I want to come back inside. I'm okay now.
Hey, where are you going?
Watch Clark. Watch Clark. Like
That's pretty
I would
good. That's
definitely
pretty
be
good,
me.
Tony.
Yeah.
Thank you. That Nick Nolte impression was impressive. Right?
I've had time to practice it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Not much I could say else that everybody hasn't, but yeah, I enjoy it every time I watch it, and I watched it on the Arrow version this time.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Finally like had a reason to watch it. Not that I don't, but like
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff. But yeah,
That's great.
great movie. Great movie.
All right. Copy that. All right. Tag team champions. Nubis.
Yeah, you guys cover a lot of ground that I totally agree with. Derek, I think, pointed out something with the relationship between the characters from Kurt Russell and David Keith. Like, it's not just the ending; it's also the entire film. Like, there's this tension between the both of them, and at the end, it's kind of like they've kind of worked things out to the point that, like, yeah, we're just too tired. I'm not. If you're gonna do something, you would have already done it.
It's like an acceptance.
Yeah.
Right. Great suspense and atmosphere. One thing that I sometimes do, I'll watch a lot of reaction videos to this first time watching the thing from people on YouTube. And one thing they always point out is how claustrophobic it feels because of where they're at. They can't just go and escape. Like once Brinley's character like destroys the helicopter and the radio. It's like they ain't going nowhere for a while. So grab a Snickers or something, you know. John Carpenter's brilliant, obviously. One of the scenes I think it was Joel that brought up was when they're tied to the chairs and Palmer's going nuts.
Right.
After all that chaos, the guy in the middle who's like lead of security, he got the funniest line to me. He's like, "Yeah, I know you guys have been through a lot, and if you don't mind, I don't want to spend the rest of the time tied to this fucking chair."
I love at the beginning, the line that I like is when Kurt Russell is like, "I don't know what that thing is, but it's weird and pissed off." Like he was
Clark, who
Clark,
obviously loves his dog but has no sense of urgency. He's like just walking, like Droopy the dog, you know, like, "Hey, what's going on there?" Yeah, the ending's great because it really does leave it to the imagination of like, are they infected? Are they not? I've always come with the belief that they're not, but you know, it just depends on who you are. And I go back and forth between which scene I like the most. It's either the one with Norris and you know the to the chest, or it's the dog scene. And the dog scene, I don't know how they do it, man, but it's so affected with the emotions of it.
I know, I get sad when I watch
it. It's a dog scene for me, 100%.
One particular thing is the shooting the dog that's caught.
Yeah.
And he's killing him. Like, it's so real. It's like crazy. But yeah, it's a great movie. Top 5 horror for me, easily.
I mean, I love Kurt Russell. I love very disgusting things. So this kind of combines both of my loves, something disgusting and Kurt Russell. But I was saying we were
Is that like Kurt Russell in like chocolate covered fudge or something?
That would be excellent. Thank you. But I honestly, we watched it this week again, and we watch it quite a bit. I never realized how often we watch it so much. It's almost like a background movie for us because we enjoy this movie so much that we kind of like the like one-liners and the vernacular kind of like seep into our daily lives. The weird and pissed off thing we say a lot all the time. But for me, it was kind of what everyone is saying. I was like, this is kind of like Clue, but disgusting. And I mean, I love it. Like we talk about the effects and it's just gross. And there's stuff being ripped apart and blood and seeping. And I absolutely love the effects. That's a big thing for me. And again, with the dogs. Oh my God.
The funny thing is the effects haven't aged at all. Like, it's so much better than what we see today. And it's sad. It's like really sad.
I feel like it's an art form, and it really is. It's an art form because they take it into sculpting. And I mean, I've watched a lot of behind the scene things on different movies that they show how hard these effects people work just to get the proper motions before they even build anything. It'll be just like, okay, we're using sticks and we just need to get the right angles. And can we operate this? And you can tell that they put a lot of care and thought into what was going on with the effects.
Copy that. But you know, Kurt Russell destroying the computer ruined the whole movie for you, right?
I actually just read the voice was Adrian Barbeau.
Oh,
wow.
That is awesome.
Got another super chat here from Brad. Thank you, super chatting from Braden. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. In the script, their storage was full of chess computers.
Oh,
it was not his first. Also, he had a blow-up doll named Esperanza. He wanted to be in Mexico.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Brad. That I did not know that.
Look at that.
That just makes him more of a dick. He's killing all their entertainment.
He probably brought them all.
Have you guys ever seen the when the stop motion that they did for the end of the Thing monster that they cut? You should check it out.
No,
it's probably on our DVD.
Write that down.
Does it look bad?
Yeah, that's why I got cut.
Oh,
They spent a lot of time, but it just didn't blend well with. I mean, there is some stop motion, you can see it there, but
with the tentacles like grabbing.
right.
Yeah,
but
that
like
looked
there's
a
a
little
whole
funky.
scene, that they use and they cut that.
It's probably a good thing then.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. All right, let's move on here. 1986 now. The Fly. All right. Directed by another legend, David Cronenberg, starring Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, and John Getz. Maybe we should just call him the Goldblum.
I think it's just Goldblum.
The Goldblum, the Bloominator.
The Bloom.
Yeah, the Bloom. Plot synopsis: a brilliant but eccentric scientist begins to transform into a giant man/fly hybrid after one of his experiments goes horribly wrong. Oh man.
Buzz.
Yeah. Buzz. Yeah.
Oh,
Same
Jesus
thing with
Christ.
this movie, man. When I ended up watching this for the first time, it's funny. It's funny because some younglings today would be like, "What's the big deal about Jeff Goldblum?"
Oh.
I'm just like, just watch The Fly, okay? Just watch The Fly, and then get back to me, all right? Because this movie put him on the map, and he was phenomenal in this film. I mean, not just acting wise and being eccentric, but physical performances as well. He was great in this movie, and he had great chemistry with Gina Davis. They had a great little love interest there. It worked. There was nothing too awkward. But before we got the shot, the Bloominator shot from Jurassic Park, everybody had to contend with the flaky steak from this movie. For the ladies, that's right.
I'm okay with that.
Right. She's okay with that. Yeah, for the ladies. But yeah, man, just a great story. And I actually like the original too. The original's fun. I enjoyed the original as well. But this one, man, it's just a great story with great effects, and you kind of feel bad, for the guy. It's just kind of like, it's not one of those I'm an evil scientist. It's not one of those things. He had a purpose. He did want to be famous a little bit, but you kind of feel bad for the guy at some point because he's not an asshole. He gets weird at some parts. The more he transforms, the more crazier he gets. But you kind of feel it's kind of a tragedy story a little bit too. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just goes wrong. But this is my one of my favorite parts in the movie right here.
Yes.
I love this shit,
He
man.
just grabs the girl and goes.
Oh my god, I love shit like this. I was like, he's a badass. I love it.
Key point: don't arm wrestle Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, don't do it.
Ever.
No, don't do it. But yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Look at him. I mean, come on.
He is the Fly.
This is acting.
Brundle Fly.
Yeah. Love the effects, man. Everything just works perfectly in this. It's a lot of fun moments and crazy moments when it gets crazy. But yeah, phenomenal movie. One of the greatest, in my opinion, horror remakes of all time. Enough of my yakking. Flicks.
All right, man. Oh, okay. So, like you said, people that don't understand Jeff Goldblum, maybe they're already too far gone before you recommend this movie, because he is a treasure. One of my favorite actors of all time. And exactly what you said with the romance of him and Gina Davis in this movie, it's great. It works perfectly. Their chemistry is great, but not only that, the story's written perfectly around those two characters. And it's probably at least my favorite Gina Davis performance, if not my favorite Jeff Goldblum performance too. But it's after all these years, this movie still holds a special uniqueness in terms of like, after all these years, if I'm gonna watch a movie like The Thing, at the time I had to watch The Thing, but now there's maybe a handful of movies I can go back, fall on the watch that kind of have that same vibe. But if I want to watch something like The Fly, I have to go back to this movie and watch The Fly. So I really like the uniqueness in it, and the monkey. You talk about dogs, and I love dogs, but you want to talk about like our cousin, the closest we can get, that monkey. I love him and the way he vents to that monkey in that scene. It's just, I don't know, something about that sells the performance, and the way he's able to just kind of be there with just that monkey and still kind of give this really good dialogue. I like that. Doing the gymnastics in his apartment. When he started doing that, I started cracking up. And I think that was the intent there too, though. There's something comedic about it. And I don't know. There's something about the comedy in this movie that works for me until the final act, when it kind of starts getting really serious, or maybe halfway through. The practical effects, like you said, these two movies, the reason this is such a great versus is because of the practical effects. The ear. Oh my God. And there's something else that falls off of his that's in a jar later, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he keeps it in his medicine cabinet.
I love that too. He starts getting these this is me.
This is the old me.
Yeah. Brundlefly now. Another great soundtrack from Howard Shore this time. Yeah. As far as like negative things I have to say about this movie, there's not a lot. Especially because of the material it's adapted from. I think they did it as perfectly as they possibly could have. I think one of the things I could complain about is John Getz. I think he plays a great character throughout this entire movie until it's time for the action. And then it's terrible. There's faces made. He's not making much noise. He's just like, and he's looking at him all like, ooh. I don't know. It doesn't really work for me. So I guess the action at the end kind of slows this one down a little bit, but the practical effects make up for it. It's such a catch-22 type of thing. They did what they could for the time with the people they had. I think it's a great movie with not a lot that I can say bad about it because of when it was made, and comparing it to other things that could even be close to it from that time period. I think it stands so far above them. I don't really have anything bad to say about The Fly.
Nice. And I forgot to mention the biggest what the fuck moment in the movie that kind of caught me off guard. And you know which one I'm talking about.
I knew what was coming, and it still got me.
What the fuck?
I mean, I'm sure everyone knows that's Cronenberg holding the maggot.
Yeah.
So.
No,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but thank you.
Yeah, that's Cronenberg holding that maggot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Joel's got the knowledge, man. All right, Kyle.
So I'm gonna be honest, as always, I've never seen this movie in my childhood ever. And when I jumped onto this episode, I watched it for the first time.
Nice.
And all I can say is
that's cool though.
I understand like how David Cronenberg always has his style of body horror and everything else. Always understood it. And I've always seen the memes about this movies and Jeff Goldblum. We all know Jeff Goldblum is a national treasure. This movie itself, the relationship between Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis is really well done. Him descending into like his crazy madness as he's slowly turning into the Fly, it's really well acted to the point where he finds out that Gina Davis is pregnant and he wants to make this family like all together. And then it gets to the point where like she wants to get away, and then his jaw pops off, and then he just turns into the friggin' Fly, and I'm like, oh God. It's the practical effects on that film is really well done also. And like Derek said, the score is really well done. I think definitely the two things are the first monkey dying, the first baboon, but the second one is just so interactive. Even interacting with the Fly before Jeff Goldblum goes into it, I was just like, yeah, that's a real baboon just interacting normally. It's pretty cool.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's not real. Look at him holding him. It can't be real.
Yeah. And all I can say is I fucking hate Stathis. That character is just the worst. Like, starts off as like this freaking stalker, and then ends up being her hero in the end. I was like,
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't believe this.
Brilliantly done.
Like, like I don't want to say I kind of cheered when like Jeff Goldblum started vomiting on his hand and then his ankle just to get him away, get him like, yeah, you're out of there. But then I will say, like, I usually like depressing endings, but this one was just really sad, especially when like the final Jeff Goldblum fly just like sees Gina Davis and then grabs the shotgun to point it at himself. I was like, damn, that's harsh. But then when she does it on her own and then it cuts to black after that, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this ending. This is really depressing. Shit. But yeah, this one's gonna be a hard one to choose.
Mm.
All right,
That's my
copy
take
that.
on it.
All right. E-Rock.
Well, I am a sucker for horrible endings. So like when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this movie's amazing." One of the and just in case anyone was wondering, my yes, my brother was named after Kurt Russell. I was named after Eric Estrada, sadly.
Really?
I was, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
Chips.
That's freaking
yeah.
awesome.
So, one thing I just really love about this movie is it's one of those, like, when I saw it the first time when I was a kid, I was like, this might be the only way where, because I was wondering, like, how could he fuse himself with a fly? Like, like a werewolf, you get bitten by a wolf, a vampire, you get bitten by another vampire. It's like, how could you, like, become a fly? And I think, like, the creativity of, like, being fused with it in a teleportation chamber is pretty legit to me. Yeah, and kind of like what everyone's saying is the relation. I don't know how long it went afterwards where they got married afterwards. I don't know what year it was when Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum married, but I'm sure this movie had shot some sparks off. I don't know. I mean, I love all of David Cronenberg stuff too. Green is the color of this movie, I would say, maybe.
Yes.
Whereas the other one was blue. Difference. I had something I was going to say, but I kind of lost it.
We'll come back to you. You can just
Okay,
bounce in
yeah.
and say it later. Yeah, you can bounce in
Okay.
anytime. Mhm. Joel.
The Fly. Okay, so I gotta touch on what other people say, like Flick's next, like not liking the ending and where it falls apart. And like one of the things I love about this movie is the ending. We get so many Hollywood endings, it's just not, it's ridiculous. So like I cheer every time I see this ending, man. And I would say, like I said, the thing is I think the cinematography is better. I think the score is better on The Fly. It moves me. Howard Shore did such an amazing job on that. And I think I would even say, and I might get crucified for what I'm about to say, but I would say the effects hold up better than The Thing for me, because The Thing, that great effects, awesome, right? But I still can see a latex head being stretched off of the body, and I can, you know what I mean? They're awesome. They still hold up and they're great, but something about the makeup of The Fly, like he won an Oscar for that makeup. You know what I mean? Like it's so well done. It's so good. And you sympathize with this character so much. And even with the ex-boyfriend right here, you clap because he's such a scumbag, and they want you to sympathize with Jeff Goldblum as long as you can. As long as you can. And it takes it all the way to the end where he grabs that barrel and he puts it right here. You're sympathizing with the monster the whole movie. Tell me another movie that does that. I don't know of any. The chemistry that we've talked about all the time, that was Jeff Goldblum's girlfriend. I don't know if you know that. They were dating. Cronenberg was really hesitant. He has actually wanted Linda Hamilton. I don't know if you guys knew that. He wanted Linda Hamilton, and she didn't want to do the movie because the script was grossed her out. Is what I hear. And so she did a test and she nailed it. Like, the chemistry was there. It was already there because they were dating, and then they would eventually get married. And so I don't know, man. And then I'm shocked. I honestly shocked that Jeff Goldblum didn't win an Oscar for his performance, because it is the best Jeff Goldblum performance out there. His little ticks, all these little things as he transforms, his attitudes, it is like, when I watch it, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. That's like my favorite gift to use on my streams. It's
gonna leave this up for the next 6 hours,
dude. That's my favorite gift, bro.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
Like, they show the way he eats, and it's a different kind of. It is a different kind of horror, because you got the thing that's claustrophobic, but here it's like they touch, like, it's almost like a like cancer, and how it eats away at the body, and it's stuff that people have to deal with, not transforming into a fly, but if you've ever had to you go through that battle of someone with cancer, it's like a slow, at the end you don't even recognize them sometimes, and
it's affecting her too.
Oh,
you see how she feels with the whole transformation, because she still loves him.
Exactly.
That she is just, it's gut-wrenching to her, and she's just absolutely gutted, like, seeing the person she loves go through this.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I know Flix and Snacks didn't care too much for the performances in The Thing, and I really think that I love the performances in The Thing. What I love about here is Jeff Goldblum's like, I'll carry this whole show, man. Like, don't worry, and his performances is so awesome. I love The Fly. Hopefully and then some of these effects with the rotating room that they used, are still look great. That's why I say I think the effects, and I might get crucified for it, but I do think the effects hold up better today in The Fly than The Thing. Attack me. I don't care.
It's all good.
It's actually a pretty fair point, actually.
Because it has a nice subtle effect to it, so it's not over the top, but you are totally believing he is walking up the ceiling.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was a lot of thought in how they were going to, because I've seen a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of thought on how they were going to keep you sympathizing with Jeff Goldblum, because there's a whole scene. If you haven't seen the monkey baboon attack scene, where he attacks Jeff Goldblum and he comes out and gets on the roof and things start coming out of him, check it out. It's amazing. And another monkey fact, I don't know if you knew this, but the monkey actually, they had a hard time with him because he was so attracted to one of the PAs on set that he was always popping a boner, and they had to shoot around that boner. And it's on the behind the scenes of the DVD. Check it out. It's
my God.
That's hilarious. And I want to clarify, I do like the ending of this movie. I just don't like the performance of John Getz more so towards the end of it. It kind of just took away from the ending a little bit for me.
Like, to me, I'm thinking this guy has seen some things on VHS, and now a dude's barfing on his hand and his hand is melting. I don't know how I would react.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'd probably do the same thing.
It's shock.
Yeah.
All right. Well said, Eric.
Yes. Another random baboon thing that I read was that it submitted itself to Jeff Goldblum as the alpha on set because of Goldblum's stature.
It's true, because he was so built.
Yeah, because he was so built. I heard that. And that alleviated at least some of the problems. It's like they worked well together.
So that's why he hugged him. Like, he just jumped into his arms, and I couldn't believe that it was a real baboon. I'm like, that's not real.
Wow.
And then and we're talking about double bills with the Thing and Blade Runner. Well, this one was set up as a double bill with Aliens, which was released like a month before.
Oh, that's
Oh,
You
right.
mentioned that double bill?
No,
That's awesome. That is
for
awesome.
the fly.
I know. I know, but yeah.
And a few other random facts. The internet says this is true, so I believe it. Other actors that were considered for this role: Michael Keaton declined
No.
it.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson declined
That's
it to
true,
do
too.
Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
And John Travolta was considered, but they passed
No.
over him because
Oh,
of
no.
a previous film that didn't make money that they did with him. So
Oh,
we
no.
have dodged a bullet with Travolta.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think wasn't he contractually he did Saturday Night Fever, but he just did Staying Alive. Like I think it was right at that time, and then he was supposed to do a third movie with that same, like, I forgot what director or whatever, but he was in a contract and he couldn't break it.
Thank
Good
God.
for us.
Well, we almost didn't get Cronenberg because Cronenberg was attached to Total Recall.
Oh,
That's
And then
right.
that fell through, and he was able to do The Fly.
Wow.
It's crazy how that stuff
all
just,
works out.
yeah. But yeah, this one, you know, one thing I really noticed rewatching these, the directing styles are so different. Like, even in The Fly, like the opening scene, it's like, bam, you're like in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of like, you know, like slow setup and everything. It's like, bam. And then Goldblum's telling Genie's like, hey, I got this thing. It's gonna like change the world. And then they're right in the experiment room, baby. So it doesn't waste any time, and I kind of appreciate that. I like the pacing in this. Yeah, the story, I think it's just really kind of well executed. The obviously even Goldblum says the word flesh like a handful of times in the film. So it's like they even talk about flesh in this film. So and that's a big Cronenberg theme in a lot of his movies. This movie did give me kind of a recurring nightmare at times. Not all the time, but every once in a while, I'll have a nightmare about looking in the mirror and my teeth start falling out. And this movie did it to me. So that's not a pleasant dream when I have it. Some of the special effects, the maggot scene was crazy. You know, a scene where he's basically pulling out all of his, just pulling himself apart is just, it's just so fantastic. And I think the humor works. You know, I think Goldblum's so perfectly cast in this with, like his eccentricities and he's just great in this. And he's kind of at his best, in my opinion, when he's talking science.
Yeah.
Like this Jurassic Park, he was fantastic. And I just need more roles with him spouting science jargon. I kind of like it, the way he delivers that.
That's a big thing with me, like when he showed his closet and he had the same outfit. Like it's like all like the genius
Einstein, right?
scientists like
He's
did
like,
that. So
yeah.
it was like
What made me think of that was what's his face from Facebook. He's like, yeah, I do the same thing, and I'm like, you got that from The Fly.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that for some reason, this one I don't watch as much as The Thing, and I'm not exactly sure why. Although I bought the, you can't really see it, I bought that Fly box set, Blu-ray box set that came out some years ago. So
This one?
Yes,
Oh, that's
yes.
nice.
So that will be on my rotation. And after we're done tonight, I was thinking of checking out The Fly Part 2, which I've heard
Pretty
is a
good.
masterpiece.
Oh, you've never
Actually
seen
pretty
it?
good.
I saw parts of it years ago, but I
I've
never
got a
watched
dog
the whole
scene in
thing.
it.
I
too
haven't
for
seen
you.
it either. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing after we're done. So yeah, this is a great flick.
That's what I'm doing. He went gangster right now. Eric went gangster right now.
What I'm
That's what I'm
doing,
doing
man.
after the
What I'm
done.
doing.
All right, Tony.
Okay. I had to be muted because my kids were downstairs.
Aw.
It's all good.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, of course, I love Kurt Russell, but when I have to pick between him and Jeff Goldblum, I think I go with Jeff Goldblum. And it's also because of the mannerisms. I just love him. I don't know if anybody else is, but I find myself trying to talk like him after I see a movie of him in. Like I'll try to, even like the things he does
I'm
in
that
like
way
two
with
or
Kurt Russell.
she did. I can't really do a Kurt Russell impression. Like I don't know. I never tried, to be honest. But like way she's like walking away and he's just like he doesn't say anything. He just does this, and I was like, that's great. I love how he does. I just love Jeff Goldblum. He like Eric said about how him being a scientist and that he kind of has the same. He's kind of the same like in the movie Vibes as well with Cyndi Lauper, and he's really funny in that too. They're really good, but serious at the same time. And the thing with this one is like how he's so excited, and he shows her this, and he is like, I didn't know I was talking to a journalist and that, and then like he has her follow him around, writing everything down, and how excited he is and everything. When like the synthetic taste of the steak, like I never had that before, but I could kind of feel like, oh, I bet that tastes bad. You kind of can taste it in your mouth, like, oh yeah. And then the way the baboon looked at the end, like, well, the first baboon anyway, transported over, it kind of looked like something from The Thing, I was ready for the baboon to rip his face off for some reason. I just the way the hair shakes when they move, I just thought he was going to rip somebody's head off. But like it was kind of how he did. You could see the alpha male on set, how he kind of like took him as that. And also it's pretty neat too. Like you could see like in the deterioration how he started getting the acne and all that, and all he ate was like chocolate and snacks, which is like a fly. Like they don't really talk about his food except for when he throws it. I was gonna actually do that. I was gonna get milk, and when we came out tonight, I was gonna go like that. But I thought, nah, I'm gonna get it all over the place. But like it was pretty disgusting, and it is kind of funny how they made the hero that guy at the end. But like I still don't like him.
Yeah.
And when Jeff Goldblum does that, I thought, that's what I would do. It's like, leave her alone. But, and then no, not just the hand where you watch it melt, which is like awesome. Just the leg, and then that starts melting too. And it's like, oh my God. So you imagine how much pain this guy is in just on the ground. And then where she rips his jaw off and it just like splits and that, it's like, holy shit.
It looks so good too.
It looks awesome. It looks so good. And then he merges with the telepod. And then he comes out and then basically, the shotgun, like, kill me, please. And you could see it in his eyes too. Even though he's a fly, you could see in his eyes, like, she's like, I can't do it. And he's just like sad. You could tell he's like, oh my God. It's just, and it's crazy too how like he like had all that energy. He's carrying his girlfriend at the time up the stairs, and then the next time she sees him like a couple weeks later, he can't even hardly walk. It's like, it's just, I love the movie. I really do. I think I saw the second one maybe once, but I don't remember it. And I forgot I had the box set, so I watched it on like a streaming thing or something. So I forgot I
you
had the box set. Yeah, I forgot I had it.
That's when you know you have too many DVDs, is when you remember you have it.
Right.
That's
or
a
not
problem.
enough, or I haven't watched enough. No. But yeah, it's a great movie. The effects are great. Cronenberg is awesome. I haven't seen every Cronenberg movie, but everything I have seen I liked. Him and Gina Davis have such a great chemistry. Like I believed they were a couple.
Because they were.
At the time, though, right? Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. Like that's unbelievable.
Me either.
But you gotta say the best couple in history of Hollywood is Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. I mean,
Right.
But yeah, it was just great. I have nothing really bad to say about it. One thing I was gonna say about The Thing, though, when they're all together and like obviously somebody's the Thing, and the guy is like, when they first set him up, before they set him on fire, why didn't they try talking to it? Like, what do you want? Why are you here?
What's up with you?
Everybody's just like, burn it.
They don't speak howl,
Yeah, well, you had to give him a chance to adapt.
True.
They don't speak howl.
They don't speak.
All right, Nubis.
No, you're not.
I don't have a lot to add, really, because you guys all really hit on all the points. But I will say I'm a big Goldblum fanboy, so Tony kind of hit on a lot of things. Jeff is very versatile as an actor, and for a lot of people who actually hate The Lost World, I think Jeff actually carried that movie a lot because he has this like he has like this subtle comedy about him that he makes these like quick one-liners that are just so hilarious. Even at Independence Day was the same thing. The special effects are amazing in this. I kind of actually agree with Joel that they hold up a little bit better than The Thing because it's not as absurd as The Thing, but it's just more subtle. And you got the little thing with the teeth falling out, the ear, and everything else. It has a very strong story, which was nice. The storytelling was really good in this, and really, that's it. I can add, really.
All right, Neko.
So for me, Gina Davis is absolutely one of my favorite actresses, like hands down. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but she was a Victoria's Secret model. And if I can show you her 1981 Victoria's Secret catalog, if you'd like me to.
Sure, go ahead. Put that up right
now. So, again, I love disgusting. I love horror movies, but honestly, neither one of these movies scared me.
What's wrong with you?
Huh?
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm a weirdo. But I only saw this one other time, and I was very young. And I never watched it again until Tuesday. We turned it on, and I'm like, I remember why. And it was the throw up thing. Like, I was like, no, I don't even want to because it kind of like makes me gag, but I love disgusting things. So whatever. But for me, that
was disgusting.
We're watching the beginning and I'm seeing him change. And then I'm like, I remember why I never watched this movie again. I know what's going to happen. So I watched it again as a 40-year-old. The last time I watched it, I might have been 15, maybe even younger. And as an adult watching this, what I'm seeing is an insecure man who has found love with a hot woman. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the whole reason he fucked up his experiment. He was insecure and upset, and he fucked up his experiment, and then he is trying so hard. Yeah, and he was trying so hard because he couldn't get past his own face. He was just so up, and Jeff Goldblum made you believe how upset he was. He made you believe how you could feel it in him. And he's like, I'm good enough. Why does she want to go back to her ex-boyfriend? And then all of a sudden it just spirals out of control. And he realizes it's almost like, if I'm not saying somebody turning into a fly, but if you're dating someone and you do something stupid, like call them at 3 a.m. and say, I saw you with that guy or whatever, that's kind of the equivalent, only he decided to do his experiment while he was drunk in front of his little baboon friend. And you see how he is just getting more and more. It's like it went from depression to, oh, you love me again, to, oh, we're going to have 1,000 sex scenes, to now I'm deteriorating. And the emotion involved in the both of them, again, because they were dating, it's just I really felt that. I saw it and I felt it. And I'm like, it's almost like a weird abusive relationship in reverse. Because you know what's happening, and she knows he's hurting himself. And she said, why did you do that? And then he is going to her you're just jealous because I have it's your fault, and I have all this power now, and I'm cleansed. I'm like a coffee filter. I'm cleansed. So I have all this energy. You are too scared to come to the other side with me. And she's like, no, you didn't even have the baboon analyzed. I'm not comfortable with that. And he wouldn't listen to her. And you see what happens. So I look at this. They
live happily ever after.
Right? I look at this not so much from a horror film, because I was not scared, and I love disgusting things. So as I get older, I love more disgusting things, and I watch this and it's totally disgusting. And it is an emotional, I don't know how to describe it. I watch and I see how everybody in this, Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, are just falling apart, not just literally falling apart, but everything about around them is falling apart. It's like, how can my life get worse? And it gets worse every time.
Hey, the guy that plays the shithead in this movie, is he the same guy from Men at Work? The main villain in that?
I think so.
I was trying to determine that.
I think so.
Man, I didn't notice him. Darn.
Well, he had a beard in this one, so I was
Yeah.
Wow. Copy that. Very well said. All right. It is time, about that time to vote. Joel's getting ready. Everyone's flexing, stretching.
YMCA.
I'm
It is
flexible.
time,
But
but
you can't
first
see
we
it.
have a guest vid vote. We gotta play
Uh-oh.
first.
Are we going to count it?
And you're
Five,
gonna,
four,
yeah.
three.
We always count those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, brother. But yeah, it's gonna be hilarious because it's our
Oh, my.
boy. It's our boy, Aaron Penn. That's right, Aaron Penn from Cult of Cinema.
Hi there. So I am down here in the movie library to put in my video vote between The Fly and The Thing. Now, this was not easy. This was actually a kind of a harder decision, but I do have a vote and I do have my reasons. Before I do that, though, I want to put this in here because I missed out on last week's video. And lately, I've been trying to do something called hot takes. So let's make sure he keeps this in there. I'll be watching. Last week, you did Fright Night versus Near Dark versus The Lost Boys. And I'll be honest, it's not even close when it comes to these films. Those are 3 good films. Well, no. There's 1 good film, and there's 2 great films. So, Near Dark is a great film. Fright Night is the winner. There's no doubt about it. It combines modern-day sensibilities with the Hammer aesthetics that defined generations of like the gothic vampire film. And Lost Boys is a really good film, but it's the twilight of its day. That's what Lost Boys is. It never should have won. I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. Okay, between The Fly and The Thing, see, on one side we have this amazing body horror from Cronenberg. It almost seemed like the culmination of so much of his work before that. There was so much that came into that film. Saw great acting, amazing characterization, chemistry that came off the screen. It was insanely well done, and it stuck with me. Jeff Goldblum was incredible in this film. Gina Davis. Then we come to John Carpenter.
Still going.
Hey, what happened?
It's 2 parts.
Oh my!
Oh,
It's coming. The
He
second
had
part's
so
coming.
much,
Hey, he
he had
said
so
Friday
much
Night's
to
better.
say that he had to have 2 parts.
Then we come to John Carpenter's The Thing, which for many people is John Carpenter's magnum opus. It's his best film. Like Halloween is a good film. They Live, again, gets up there with his best work. For some people, it's The Thing. And John Carpenter has managed to take the actual, like the original story from The Thing. I think it's called Who Goes There, and really reinvent it and reconceptualize it. It's not the James Arnaz monster of the original film. And the original film's a really fun film, good film. I actually recommend checking it out. But here we go. At the end of the day, between both of these films, you know, we had the culmination of Cronenberg's body horror, and we had pretty much the reinvention of a classic story and a classic film into something completely its own thing and completely new. And due to the insane casting, the incredible makeup effects, which are fantastic in both of these, but there was something just revolutionary and something that I guess got to me on almost a visceral level that got under my skin, so to say, when I chose the winner. So without prolonging it anymore, I just took my lighter just to make sure, and put it under that little blood sample and chose the Thing. By the way, this is the superior edition of the Thing. If you ever get a chance to pick up an edition, the Arrow video edition is way better than the Scream Factory one, so pick that up. I am Aaron from the Call to Cinema, and hopefully you guys are going to have a great Halloween this weekend, and be sure to, all these guys that are here, that have channels, that are doing stuff, subscribe to them. They're amazing people, even if they got last week wrong.
Get last week wrong.
Aaron draws onto it.
Yeah, Fright Night, baby, Fright Night.
Hey,
You said Fright Night too, right,
You weren't
Flex?
here, man.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't here to battle, so
That's right.
No, we love
Fright
you,
Night.
Aaron.
I told you
We
guys.
love you, Aaron. Yeah.
I told you
Respect your
guys,
opinion.
man. You just
I coulda-
didn't listen.
I could have edited all that shit out. That's right, but I respect Aaron's opinion.
I would have called you out because I
He's
seen
our-
him
he's
on
our homie.
Facebook ranting.
So don't forget to also to subscribe to Aaron Penn as well. All right, so we got one for the Thing. Derek, who you got?
Okay. Like E-Rock said, up until the minute this video started, I was like, what am I going to do? I was stressing about it and more than I should have. I rewatch both these once a year at least. Oh man, and I didn't know who I was going to pick until I rewatched them this last time. But to me, it comes down to the performances of Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum and the romance of the characters. So I'm going to go with The Fly.
All right. Kyle.
So I just recently found this out too today that Mel Brooks was
The producer.
the producer of this film, and he didn't want it to be known because no one would see it if it was a comedy. So it was under his production company. So having said that, like knowing that David Cronenberg is a director, actor, screenwriter, and gynecologist in this film, I
know you had your hand in that.
I had to bring that joke back. But if I had to bring up any film that I would watch over and over again, as much as The Fly has a depressing but good ending, I'm going to go with The Thing because I'll always watch it.
All right, copy that. All right. So, should we all vote for The Fly to piss off Aaron?
Well, he
No,
voted for The
it's-
Thing, right? That's
Yeah, he did. He voted the Thing.
I'm just joking. All
it was
right.
so weird how you phrased it. I thought you were going to say The Fly, and then you changed it.
I know, right? Kyle, man.
Kyle was doing that
sneaky.
bait and switch move right there. with
Right?
that.
Yep.
Big time.
Yep. All right, Eric, who you got?
Which one?
All right, E-Rock, who you got?
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
It's like,
Again, almost impossible, but like one thing is because they both hit like a spot for me. Like I know there's something in Antarctica. I know I'm like one of those people. Like there's shit there,
Yeah.
and The Thing like kind of like
I know
fulfills that for me.
there
you know?
are things there. I know there are things there. And
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I know there are things there.
Yeah.
beast
And-
from 20,000 fathoms. He's there.
Yeah, and with The Fly, if someone asked me to take, in the near future, if we come up with teleporters and someone told me to take it, I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. But the thing that changes it for me is, it's the dynamic of The Fly and Jeff Goldblum, because it reminded me of how, that scene in Superman when there's no makeup, no anything, all he does is take his glasses off, Christopher Reeve, and he like puffs his chest out and becomes Superman, like just without really anything. Like he's just it. That kind of reminded me of Jeff Goldblum. Is he could become this character even before the makeup was put on. Like you could tell like his whole ability in changing how he acted was just, it's superb. So I'm gonna pick The Fly.
Yes.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Interesting. Awesome. I love it. Keeps things interesting and fresh. Joel, who you got?
Well, I did pick Fright Night last week. I just want to throw
He's not gonna let that one go either.
You know what's funny is I right when we decided what we were gonna battle, I already knew my winner, right?
Okay.
And I'm a big Carpenter. Like Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite movies, and one of these movies here is on my top 5 of all time. And I love they live too. But for me, there was no contest of which one I love the most, and it's just, to me, it's an emotional roller coaster. I every time, because I've lived in a lot of cities, and I always do movie night, so with people that I meet, and this is my first one. This is the first one you watch with me, you know, and I saw this in the theater. It's probably like the first horror movie that I can remember seeing, and it's The Fly, 100%.
Oh,
without a doubt.
Wow.
That's why I think this is the baboon boner version.
I might need a copy of that.
Like I can watch this movie 100 times. I never get tired of it. I never everything about it works so well, and it's just, the performances are outstanding. Jeff Goldblum is just, I'm a bigger fan of Kurt Russell, but in this movie, there's no doubt that Jeff should have won an Oscar. Jeff should, you know what I mean? This is it. The practical effects are great. Everything's just so awesome. I could talk. Just give me an hour just to talk about this movie, because I gave you my watered down love for this movie. I wish I could just tell you everything, but there's a lot of people on this thing. So.
All right, copy that. I think Aaron's getting nervous now. All right, Eric.
Well, I think we officially got a barn burner. I'm picking The Thing.
All right.
Keeping it tied up. Okay, I see you.
Tied up. All right, love it. I love it when it gets like this. Tony, who you got, man?
When I first went into this, I was gonna watch and I was gonna do The Thing. I'm trying to do a Kurt Russell impression. It's not working. Jack Burton.
Me.
I was gonna pick that, but as I watched them and observed, I went with The Fly.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Here we go, baby.
And I will say, it's one of the main reasons is because even though there was less people in The Fly, I liked them more, and I wanted to see good things happen to them. Well, and the thing, it's just I want to see who's going to turn into the most fucked up thing.
Right.
But they're both great.
Copy that. All right. Nubis.
Aaron.
People may have noticed when Aaron was talking that Neko jumped off screen. Aaron is my boy, so I was kind of on his chat earlier today, and he saw me in there. He was railing about the whole Fright Night thing. So he's like, I told her that Aaron told me on the chat. He's like, yeah, Nubis, Lost Boys is kind of like the early version of Twilight, and she just freaked. She just went off screen. So I thought that was funny. He cracks me up. But
he's comedy, man. He's comedy.
But this movie really, between both these movies, are really good. And like I said, I love Goldblum a lot. Same with Russell, but Goldblum is one of the greatest actors ever for me. But it's love story versus survival story. And it's predictable versus unpredictable. And when I watch The Fly, it's too by the numbers for me. It's great, but it's just too by the numbers. I know what's going to happen at the end. So I'm going with The Thing.
That's all right. So we're still tied, right, Derek?
We're tied 4-4.
All right. Neko.
So.
It's the Lost Boys.
Again. The hard part for me is because The Thing is kind of ubiquitous in this home, and it's one of his favorite movies. And I think the first time I saw it was,
she's gonna kill me with this. Watch.
The first time I saw it was with him. And again, when I was a kid, The Fly just grossed me out so much that even for me, the gross person, it was a little too gross. So when we watched it 2 days ago, I was like, this is really gross. And I love it because I'm an adult and I can love gross things. But then like my goofy psychoanalytical mind was like, this is a deeper story. There is more to this than just being gross. So after lots of thought between both movies, I am picking The Fly.
Yeah. Aaron's gonna be so mad at you.
So we're one up.
Getting him back for saying it.
We're one up, right?
Saying it's the
One
twilight of that generation.
So it's up to me to temporarily tie it or end it, basically, right?
I don't like this. I'm leaving.
I know what's gonna go. If it goes to the audience, I know what's gonna win.
I know the audience.
Yeah.
I'm shocked The Fly made it this far.
Me
I'm so
too.
proud
Me
of you
too.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was all going to be a thing all around.
Me too.
So,
I
like,
did too. Oh
I
my
think,
God.
The Fly surprised me so much because I don't want to say trauma as a kid watching it, but like I did not want to watch it ever again. 20 or 40 years later, I'm like, this is really good. What happened? Why did I hate it? So
yeah. All right, Samurai Guy's turn. It's not actually that hard for me. I love both movies. Both movies are 5 stars, but I gotta go with the Russell, man. I gotta go with the thing, baby. I gotta do it. Joe's like, I'm out.
That's my last verses. I'm
he's like,
gonna do two weeks in a row. I lose.
It's okay. This is like my third or fourth,
losers.
and I've lost every time.
There are no losers here on Versus. All
Me,
right?
E-Rock, and
It's all
Flicks and
fun.
Snacks. We're gonna start our own verses.
That's
Joe.
it's all good. It's all good.
And
You have to
Neko,
beat
you
me.
can come too, Neko.
You have to
Oh,
beat
you
me
didn't
on.
throw me out the trash.
You have to beat me on lone wolves before you could do that, because I've been the lone wolf a few times.
So we're
I'm just
tied,
kidding.
right?
That's a good point.
We're tied still, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
wait, Derek,
we
do
know
you
what's
have
Oh
gonna
yeah,
happen.
because
I've seen
Tony
the-
did
I've seen
fly
the
too,
poll.
right?
Yeah.
What, Nico?
Yeah, okay,
What'd you
cool.
say?
you have
What's
the
up?
do you have the tally?
Yeah, 5-5.
5-5. So when we have the tie, we go to the audience.
It's
Wait, it's tied?
Oh.
What is that shit?
Wow.
Dude, that's pathetic.
Wow.
So there are no losers here, but today's winner tonight is
I'll be honest. I didn't think it'd be that close. That's pretty cool.
You
Well,
did
You know,
Aaron is
if
happy
I'm gonna
now.
lose to a movie,
All is
I guess
well.
It's good as the thing.
You did it for Aaron. You did it for Aaron. I get it.
I did it for Aaron.
You did. I get it. We don't want to see Aaron
Hey,
upset.
no losers here. We showed love to both of these movies, and all of you that are watching right now, if you have never seen Fly, man, both class anyway. Make sure.
Joel just hacked his account and said, "Nope, you're not speaking anymore."
In his
Muted.
resident, this is his last time we'll see him on Versus.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil flies tonight.
Evil flies
man.
tonight.
Evil flies tonight. There you go. Oh my goodness.
You
Well,
know,
go
I
ahead.
feel like both movies have so much about them, but I know that The Fly is a remake from the 50s, but you could still feel that kind of like mad scientist-y thing inside of the 80s movie. So that was another thing that made me like feel I don't know. I just was blown away watching it. I was like this the whole time. I'm like, yes. This is disgusting. I love this. And I'm like, oh, this is heartbreaking. Oh my God, there's a baboon. Is this a real baboon? This is not a real baboon.
Told you it's a real baboon.
It's just like our Tales from the Crypt Creep Show episode.
I know.
We showed so much love for both movies, but there had to be a winner just for the night, just for fun. Stop taking it personal.
I know.
This one was tough. I do take it a little personal.
He's like,
oh,
I mean,
my
I love
goodness.
The Thing. I do. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice knowing you're now part of the Joel show.
I'm gonna go. I'm moving
That's
to
it. We got a
California.
brand new
So
verses coming out on Joel's channel. Stay tuned. Hey, well, this was a lot of fun. Thanks again. Hey, everybody watching, make sure you again subscribe to everybody here. Media Glitch, Flicks, Snacks, Nicks, Knacks, the Asian movie enthusiast. That's right. I put Kyle's information in the description box below too, so you can keep an eye out for his future film endeavors. Oh shit, that's right, the Crow Night Watch, baby, and many more are coming soon. Subscribe also to Mr. Tony of the Dead. Follow the Metal Tavern podcast. That's right. Follow the Tag Champions. That's right. Subscribe to Aaron Penn. That's right. And subscribe to 331 E-Rock Son. Get to shredding. Get to shredding. Right. You need your shredding fix. Y'all know where you need to go. And again, I love the bunny ears, brother.
I love the bunnies.
Yeah.
You gotta play
All
guitar
right.
with those.
So you guys have a great Halloween weekend. Enjoy the candy. That's right. Grill the Halloweenies. Get the hot dogs out there. Have some fun. Watch horror movies all weekend. That's right. Enjoy it. And next week's verses, I don't know. This is the last horror verses for October. We can do horror anytime. But we'll see. We'll see what next week is going to be. Is it going to be martial arts? Is it going to be action? Is it going to be sfi-fi?
Well, we'll know it'll be another certified
tuned.
loser for Joel. So,
Well, we all know I won't be on this one.
Joel's like,
Fucking him out.
He's done. All right, guys. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you badasses soon again. We might go see Antlers this weekend. And stay tuned for an Antlers review. What is it? The Last Night in Soho, whatever the fuck. That comes out this weekend.
Those are the two next ones I've got too. Yeah, two
Antlers.
good movies.
I just want to see Antlers.
which one?
Hopefully,
Me
Last
too.
Night in
Antlers.
Soho is okay, but I'm not in a rush to see it. But Antlers,
I'll show you later.
let's go. Let's go.
Better go see.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice
guys.
Soho.
Take care. Watch horror movies. See you badasses next time.
I have nothing to say.
Can't see me.